people think of writing as dialogue, and to me, writing is structure. Dialogue is the cherry on top. The cherry on top does not support the ice cream sundae. It's a delicious little added thing, but the real storytelling, the real structuring, which is often something in TV we do, all the writers together in a room working and not actually typing anything, but just talking, just verbalizing. That to me is the hard part of writing, the structuring, the building the scaffolding, the skeleton of the story, if you will.
Early on, a lot of our experiments were how do you want to make the audience feel? Like what is the journey, emotional journey you want them to go on? And that really helps me rather than thinking like, starting off thinking like this would work A story, B story, C story.
Each episode might have 4 stories, an A story, B story, C story, D story.
A story, B story, C story, runner.
I'd put down 1 through 13 episodes, and I'd sort of make up, this happens in episode 1, and that happens in episode 2, this happens in 4, this happens in 5, 7, all the way along. Since Tony was the protagonist, that was basically the Tony story. As time went on, it got more complicated, so every character had one of those, and we would plot them out one at a time. Carmela and the English teacher. Do that whole story, plot it out beginning, middle, and end for any given episode, even though it might be in more than one episode. Then the B story. Tony Blundetto goes to work at the Korean laundry. Plot that story out, beginning, middle, and end. Then whatever the other 2 stories were. We would cut those strips up and then and put them all together so that we would make an episode.
We would sit in front of a cork board 3 feet by 5 feet with a big thing of thumbtacks and a big thing of index cards and a whole bunch of Sharpie magic markers. And we'd sit there and we'd say, okay, what's the teaser? And you build it brick by brick. Each card represents a plot beat. Not necessarily a scene, but 3 or 4, 6, 8 cards might represent one scene. And by the end of it, you filled up this entire 3 foot by 5 foot cork board with a teaser and the 4-act structure. The trick in the room is to have no line in the room. There is definitely, as you say, a line on the show, but in the room you must surpass the line every day. I guess my philosophy is you can't know where the line is on the page in the script until you've blown way past it. Sometimes you think of a great scene. Oh, we really want to have a head on a turtle and then have it blow up or whatever. That's well and good, but if you have to drive square pegs into round holes in order to get to that great scene, then you're doing it wrong. We just questioned everything. We thought of every possibility, but then we had to sort of vet it against, is it legitimate as to the character's forward momentum?
We had a mantra, really. It was, where's Walt's head at? And that applied to all the other characters. Where's Skylar's head at? Where's Jesse's head at? And we spent countless hours asking that same question for all of our characters over and over again.
That was always the prelude to the breakthrough moment, because when you said that, it's usually because we had gotten attached to some big plan or some big set piece scene that we thought had to be there, but the characters didn't want to do what we wanted to do.
There was very little, what do we want to have happen? It's what would he do next? We would come up with these great scenes or, ideas, but it was really step by step, what in this position, knowing what we know about this guy, what is his next move?
When people ask me about writing, they're like, oh, well, how do you figure out your theme? And I never think of theme because it's about, well, what's the story I'm telling about this character and where does that lead them? And then those themes come out.
We never did episodes that were just served a bunch of plot. In other words, just moved the main plot forward. Every episode had a beginning, middle, and an end.